Okay, fantastic. I'm going to start the recording and we will go through all of the details we have here. Okay, so let's get down to business. Okay, so this is OET Speaking. It's the final sort of week in the 6-week syllabus that we do. We always repeat the same syllabus. It's the OET Speaking criteria. It's information gathering. I'm here in class with quite a few people. Guys, can you just all say hello? Is that all right?
Hello.
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 Good morning.
Hello. Good morning. Good morning, guys. Fantastic. Okay, so we're going to start off by asking a simple question. What is information gathering? Should all be able to. I want to talk about that in general, okay? Not just for OET. We're going to talk about it in general here. Then we're going to say, what does the OET criteria say? Because obviously this is an exam class, we want you to pass. And then towards the end of this class, I'm going to make a quick diagram for D2. D2 is one of the criteria. I regard it as the most important one, and I'll explain why. If you're serious about studying your speaking, if you're worried about your speaking, you should review this diagram, and then tomorrow you can practice it. Okay, so that's the plan for today. Let's get started. I'm going to ask this question to Puspa, if she's there, or Asha, or Iski. Yeah. In general, right, what is information giving in general? What are we talking about here? What does it mean?
Giving or gathering?
Sorry, not giving, gathering. I always do this every class. What is information gathering in general? Sorry. This is funny because the next
know about
Collecting
information about it.
medical data.
What does gather mean? Everyone.
Using
Collecting.
Collect.
Yeah.
So to collect information. Okay. Let's look at this quick picture here, and I'm going to ask someone, maybe Noriko, can you say hello? Or Nime? Or Paula?
Hi, hello.
Hello. So which one of these is information gathering? Is it this one here? Or is it this one here? Which one represents information gathering?
Patient is information.
So this one, is this information gathering?
Yeah, patient.
Yeah. So what's the other one then?
She collect the information, the nurse.
What's this one here?
Giving.
information giving.
All right. So this should be very, very easy now. If I ask Andrea, can you say Andrea or Amir? Could you say hello? Or Margil? We could have Kanchana as well. Precious, could you say hello? These people are very shy today.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, fantastic. Who's that?
Precious.
Precious. Thank you, Precious. Not leaving me here. So, simple question. What is the difference between information gathering and information giving?
Well, when you look at the first one, which is information gathering, it's from the patient mainly. It's a patient.
Here we want the patient to
Talk.
talk.
Give us information.
Speak. Yes, okay. So that's important, isn't it? That's a very, very important thing. Whereas in this one, do we want the patient to do lots and lots of speaking? Not so much, not necessarily. Here, who is speaking here? I'll just say often. Often we are speaking, right? Often we are speaking. Not always, I know, but we speak here. What do we do here, though? We don't just speak without stopping.
Yeah, we stop.
What do? We stop and
Check the understanding of the patient.
understand.
Understandable. Yeah.
So these two things are so important, aren't they? They're both so, so important. Last week, we studied information giving, and we were checking understanding, weren't we? In this situation, it's the nurse or the doctor who is doing most of the speaking, but we're checking. But here in information gathering, we need to collect information. We don't have the information, so we need to make the patient speak. How do we do that? What's the obvious way to make the patient speak?
By asking questions.
Of course,
Ask the open questions.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. What type of questions, right?
Mhm.
So it's
Open
all
and
about
close.
asking. I like this answer. We can just say it's about asking questions. Okay. Now, that's what we can say. Information gathering in general is about asking questions. It's about making them speak. Okay. But I want to talk about OET because what do OET say about this situation, right? You don't, I presume you don't really want to know what I think. I have been a teacher for many years, but what does it matter what I think about this, right? I'm just a teacher. I'm not the examiner, right? We need to know, what does OET think or believe about this? Okay. And does anyone know how many things OET say about this? In the criteria, how many things are there?
5.
5 criteria.
Ooh, is there 5? I think there are 5. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Yeah, so of course, many of you will have studied this already. Okay, so let's just review this now quickly. There are 5 criteria, D1, D2, D3, D4, and D5. Okay, so the answer is, this is what they think. I thought today that you probably many of you will be able to tell me already what these are. Does anyone know what D1 is?
Yes.
Active
listening. Active listening.
You guys are amazing. Look, active listening. Active listening. So what's active listening? What is that, guys? What does that mean, active listening? It's easy.
That way the patient is
Mhm.
talking, you have to
Background.
pay you to
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
listening all the
Mhm. Yeah, okay.
Please repeat the something and also echo.
Stammer, can you give us an example? Right, I'll tell you about my weekend and you can do active listening. Is that okay?
Okay, you can say that, okay, and then patients give information about pain. For example, it's
So for example, Stammer,
understandable.
let's do it now, right? I'll tell you about my weekend and you
Okay.
demonstration. Okay. So on Saturday we went for a nice hike, and then we went to a cafe and we had a coffee, and then we went to a restaurant and we had some nice food.
Okay.
There we go. Is that difficult, guys? Is this one hard?
No,
Not
it's
really.
natural.
Maybe echoing is a little bit tricky. What's echoing? This one is just noises.
what patient told you.
Like
So
say
you have
hiking.
to repeat the important
Repeat.
words that I say.
Mhm.
Not chunking, echoing. Like, for example, Sama, you are my patient, Sama. Ready?
Okay.
Sama, you have a headache. Okay, ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. So how are you feeling today, Sama?
Actually, doctor, I'm not feel good. I don't feel good because I have severe headache,
Okay.
and it happened frequently.
Mhm. Frequently, right.
Yeah.
Is that it?
And I use a lot of medications.
Mhm.
For example, ibuprofen, aspirin, and
Ibuprofen, right. Mhm.
okay, and I think it doesn't work.
Oh, doesn't
does-
work. Right.
Yes.
Echoing. It's not that difficult. I'm just choosing the key words that she's saying and I'm repeating them back to show that I am listening. Is this one clear, guys? Because I don't think this one's that tricky. This one is not too bad.
Yes,
What do you all think?
that's clear.
It's okay, right? And probably you will do this naturally anyway, right?
Mhm.
You're all human
Yeah.
beings. So in the exam, even if you're nervous, you should be doing these things. Okay, let's move on then to something a bit more tricky. D2. What is D2? Does anyone know?
Initially with the open question and moving to closed question.
You that you guys would know. Brilliant, brilliant. It is open to closed questions. Brilliant. Okay. Now, this one I think is really important. Really, really important. And we're going to talk more about this today. Does everyone understand what open question is? What's an open question?
Can you tell me more about it?
Yeah, can you tell me more about that?
Personal interview.
Or why? Say that again, Emily.
No, I say personal interview.
Say a personal interview. Sorry, say that again. We got a bad connection, Emily. Sorry, go on.
Yeah,
No, it's not
personal
an interview.
Okay, well, look, I'm gonna focus on this in this class today, okay? Because I regard this as the most important one here. So I'm going to put this here. I really think this is important, and I'll tell you why later. What's D3? We'll come back to D3. Guys, tell me, what is D3, and what did you do yesterday, and do you have a friend, and do you like coffee, and do you have phones? What's D3?
Not using compound and leading questions.
Yeah, what is a compound question?
2 or 3 questions
Question
in one time.
together.
What I just did then, right? I asked 5 questions at the same time, okay? 1 question, 1 answer. 1 question, 1 answer. We cannot ask 2 questions at the same time. Is that clear, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what is a leading question? That's a bit more tricky, isn't it? What's a leading question? Does anyone here know? Open for you guys. A leading question?
To be answered by yes or no, shortly.
Like tag
That's a
question.
closed
Like
question.
tag
have a
question.
headache for 3 years.
It is just like tag question, and you
Yeah.
just leave. Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. Very good. It's usually, not always, but often, very, very often, it's a tag question, right? That's the grammar. It's any question where you are making the patient say yes.
Isn't it? Something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So you might say, "You're not in any pain, are you? Okay, let's begin the procedure." Right? You're just not waiting. You want them to say yes. Right? Does that make sense, guys? Leading question is a question where the patient doesn't really have a choice to say no. Right? So, for example, Emily, are you there? Emily?
Yes, I'm here.
Emily, you're enjoying my class, aren't you?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, exactly. She can't say no. She can't say no. Thank God. Okay, so we should not ask these questions in OET. Do I need to explain why? It could be very dangerous, right? With a leading question. You need to allow patients the chance to say no sometimes, okay? Or yes, depending on the situation. Okay, so what about D4? Does anyone know D4? You guys are very, very good today.
Clarifying statements.
Do you have are you on the Google?
No.
Very, very good. Very good. Clarifying statements. Okay. This one might be a bit tricky, I suppose. What does it mean, guys? Clarifying statements. Anyone? Maybe someone can tell me here. I'm going to try Iwan, Mohammed, maybe Bianca. You can tell us, or Jyoti. What does it mean to a clarifying statement? Or this is a verb, to clarify. Assad?
For example, you repeat a little bit of what the patient said, and you ask, is that
right?
Is that right?
true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe
what do
you're
you
gonna-
mean by?
Yeah, you might say, what do you mean? Yeah, when you might say this, when you said blank, what do you mean by that, right? So again, it's not that difficult to understand, I don't think. Is this clear for you guys? If the patient says something you don't understand, you should clarify that. How do you clarify? What do you mean? Right?
But
Is
we
that
shouldn't
clear
do
to you
it
guys?
all the time. Oh, sorry.
Yes. Who said that?
I'm asking. We
Totally agree. Not all the time, because what does it say here? That need amplification or are vague. What does this mean, guys? Vague.
Not clear.
Not
unclear.
clear.
So we should not do it all the time. When should we do it? When?
When we
It's
don't.
Yeah, when it's
And
not clear.
when it's important, and yeah.
Yeah, or can we think of an example of when it might be really important and you need to clarify? Can anyone think of an example? Something they might say. A child, for example, might say something strange. You might need to clarify with a child, right? You know what I mean? When you said your father hits you, what do you mean? Right? I have to clarify a very difficult situation, right? So that's D4, clarifying. Again, I think this is quite clear. Is it clear for you guys, or does anyone have any questions here? Okay, you don't understand something the patient said? Ask them again, okay? Clarify, make clear what they have said, okay? What's D5? Last one, D5.
Summarizing the information. Or
Yeah,
correction.
summarizing the information. Okay, summarizing. So Bianca or Hatis, what does that mean, summarizing the information? What are we talking about here? It's easy.
Usually, we use this technique at the end when you give a overhaul about the consultation to the patient.
Not an overhaul. We did that vocab last week. An overview. Yeah.
Overview. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So we're going to give an overview of what we spoke about, and then we're going to say, is that right? Or how do I encourage further information, guys? Just ask them. Just ask them.
Do you have any questions?
Questions? Right. So you might say, so today we talked about your medication, and then we discussed your problems with your diet. Do you have any more questions? Right.
How does
summarize.
that sound?
Say that again. Any more questions?
How does that sound?
That would be more for the menu. We do that at the start. This is like the menu technique, guys, isn't it? But at the end, very often we do this at the end. Okay. When we do it at the start, before we start, that is information. That is providing structure. It's a different criteria. Okay. So today I want to talk about your medication, and then we can discuss your symptoms. How does that sound? Right. So you can do that at the start, but at the end, this is what Bianca's saying. At the end, D5, if you have time, summarize what you spoke about. And I think that's a very good advice from Bianca there. Right. If you have time, you can summarize the information back. Now, I really want to focus on D2. But before we do that, does anyone have any questions? For me, this is the most important one. But I'm going to leave open space now. Does anyone want to ask me anything about D3, D1, D4, D5? Feel free. Okay, good. I'm just going to put this here so we can see this. So no compound questions or leading questions. Okay, so D2. Why is D2 important? Okay, in my opinion, because it's asking questions, isn't it? D2 is open questions, closed questions. Do you need to ask questions in your jobs in general? Of course you do. It's absolutely vital. Imagine a teacher could not ask questions. Teacher would not be able to do their job without questions. I cannot do my job without questions, open and closed questions. Can a doctor do his job without open and closed questions? How are you going to diagnose anything? You know what I mean? Last time I went to the doctor, for example, I went to the doctor maybe last year, and I didn't get lots of relationship building from the doctor when I saw him, to be honest. He didn't say, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. But what he did do was a lot of D2. He asked me lots of open questions, and then he asked me lots of closed questions. And then he understood what the problem was, right? So I want to focus on that today. I hope you guys are okay with this. This is the key, not only to OET exams, but also to good practice, all right? So let's talk about it. Why is this difficult? Is it difficult? Does anyone find D2 easy? Open and closed questions. Maybe some of the more experienced nurses and doctors? No? Silence. I'm asking very rhetorical questions, I suppose. Okay. This is not easy. As we all know, this is not easy. Why? Okay. What are the problems that we encounter in the exam? Why will I find this difficult? Open and closed questions. Can anyone tell me what mistakes do people make?
To put a closed question at the beginning.
Starting with closed questions. Yeah. Too soon. Let's just say closed questions too soon, Bianca. Right? Well, I'll give you an example. Bianca, can you be my patient?
Yeah.
Okay, so Bianca's my patient. She's got a headache, right? Here's an example. So let's say that I know you and we're in a clinic situation, Bianca. Okay? So 3, 2, 1, go. Thanks for coming in today. It's nice to see you again, Bianca. Please sit down.
Thank you.
So how are you feeling at the moment?
Actually, I'm feeling really bad because I have this horrible headache, and it seems like everything I do, I cannot stop it.
Are you sleeping?
Depends of the day. Sometimes my headache is really bad, but the answer should be no or yes.
Guys, how did that feel when I did that? Obviously, I'm exaggerating, right? But how did that feel? Did that seem right?
No.
It was wrong.
No.
You could all feel that it was like, oh, something strange has happened here. It's because of a closed question straight away. We should wait, right? So closed questioning too soon, it can sound very unfriendly, actually, maybe even rude. Why else is D2 difficult? What is open questions, by the way? Let's go back a little bit. What do we mean by an open question?
Let's go.
Give me an example of an open question.
How do you feel?
Can you tell me how much you sleep?
What's
When
okay?
did it
Can
start?
you tell me? You could say
Can you tell me
why,
more?
when, how. Okay, so what is the definition of an open question? It's a question that you cannot
Answer with yes or no.
yes or no, right? So, for example, if I say, "How do you feel about OET?" How do you feel about OET? And you say, "No." Quite funny, right? Sometimes when me and Paul are talking to people like online, sometimes students will go, what do you, no. So that's an open question should be answered. You cannot say yes or no to an open question, but a closed question, you can say yes or no, right? Do you like OET? Don't answer that.
No.
Don't answer that question.
No.
Okay, so why is this not easy? It should be easy, right? Why is it not easy to do this in the exam? Open and closed questions. Anyone?
Because of the pressure, like
Pressure? Okay.
anxiety.
Under pressure. Okay, I won't write it down, but under pressure, you make mistakes. Okay. Well, what mistakes are they? What mistakes will you make?
We forget to ask.
Listen to the patient.
Thank you. We don't listen to the answer from the previous question. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, Bianca, ready to try this again. So, Bianca, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling really bad because this headache pain.
Okay, and do you have a headache?
Yeah, a bad one.
So I'm not listening to what she said. She just said that she had a headache. Now I'm asking a question about headache. Do you have a headache, right? This happens very often because students are thinking about the next question and not listening to the first question. Why are students often thinking about the next question?
To finish our task.
To finish the task. But also, is the grammar easy for questions? Do you find it easy?
No.
No.
I think grammar's a big problem, right? Is this right? Is the grammar right for this? What diet you eat? Is that right?
Yeah. No.
It's a grammar.
What is your
right?
diet?
What about this? How long you've been taking medication for? Is that right?
No. How long have you been? Yeah.
Right? So grammar's a big problem. I find that question grammar is very, very difficult, even for people who are very fluent, very good speakers. You often hear lots of errors in the grammar, okay? So I think this is probably the main things that we should work on. Are there any other problems that you have? Actually, there's one more thing. Can anyone think of why this goes wrong? Why is it not easy?
Empathy. Forget.
Yeah, sorry.
You miss some information from the card.
Exactly. Yeah, sorry, I forgot that one. You forget to give empathy before the next question.
Yeah.
Exactly right. So you say, how are you feeling today? And they say, I'm feeling terrible. And you say, tell me more about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's wrong, right? You need to say, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Can you tell me more about that? Right? Mm-hmm. So forgetting to give empathy before the next question. There's one more error. Okay, let's say there's 5 possible, very, very common errors. Does anyone know the last one?
You have to go from the open question to
Yeah, from open to closed.
closed. Yeah.
Naturally. What do I mean by naturally, guys? It's got to be natural.
Smoothly.
Friendly.
They have to be
In a
connected.
friendly way, in a real way, in a smooth way, in a natural way. How many open, for example, how many open questions should I ask?
3.
Three questions.
No, we don't.
Depends on patient.
We don't know, right? Yeah, it depends, right?
Yes.
So if it depends, that means you can do too many open questions.
If your patients
Mhm.
are shy, you must ask a lot of open questions.
Yeah, you can do too many open questions or not enough open questions, right? You've got to be natural for the patient. Is the patient going to speak a lot or not? All right, let me give you an example of this. Can I have someone to give an example of this, please? I need, will someone be my doctor? Can I have a doctor example, please? Come on, don't be shy. Okay, Bianca, will you be my nurse?
Yes.
Okay, so guys, I'm going to be the patient now. Bianca's just going to try and ask me some open questions. Okay, so Bianca, I've got a headache. Ready? 3,
Okay.
2, 1, go.
Hello, Alan. Nice to see you again. So, what brings you here today?
I'm not good.
Would you mind telling me a little bit more about it?
Yeah, I'm not feeling good.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, but if you can give me a little bit more information, it would be helpful for me.
It's my head.
What is about your head?
My head hurts.
And how long have you experienced?
Okay, that's very extreme example, but I call this one the shy patient. What does shy mean, guys?
Doesn't talk.
Doesn't
like
Yeah, right. Now I know this happens in the
You are
exam.
not looking like a patient. Very.
Doesn't want to talk to you, right? I have had one time we practiced the shy patient on Friday, and one of my students on Saturday, he had the shy patient, right? It does happen in the exam, okay? In the situation of the shy patient, you saw a very good example from Bianca. She was trying to ask lots of open questions, right? Because it was shy, okay? What about the opposite though? What's the opposite of shy, guys?
Gives everything.
Talkative.
Talkative, I suppose.
Talkative or chatty.
Chatty. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, let's see if she needs to ask lots of open questions now. Bianca, let's try it again.
Hi, Alan. Nice to see you again. So, how are you feeling?
Well, I'm not feeling good. I've got this headache, and the pain's on the right side, and it's kind of radiating down my neck. I'm really not sleeping very well, and I've tried all medication. I've tried, paracetamol and that kind of thing. I'm not sleeping well, so I really need some help.
Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. So you are saying that you have headache? Yeah, is that right?
Just summarize now, right?
Yeah.
Does she need to ask an open question now after all that crazy information?
No.
Probably not. Okay, so you've got to get this balance of moving from open to closed. Like, how many open, how many closed? All right, you've got to do it in a natural way, and that just depends on the patient. Is the patient shy? Is the patient chatty? Okay. Now, I want to make a diagram to help you with this. Okay. And what I've noticed, I've been teaching OET for about 5 years now. Okay. What I've noticed is that if we say open here, right? This is open questions. And if we say closed questions here, often it's very difficult. I don't know why, but many students find it difficult to move, right, from open to closed. So I have a way that I think is easier. Rather than just open, close like this is very extreme, right? Like, tell me about your day. Did you eat cheese? Right, it's very, very big and then suddenly very specific. There's actually a sort of intermediary stage, a third type of question that helps you to move from open to closed. All right, it makes it easier for you. You don't have to do this, it's your choice. But I call these questions, does anyone know what I call these questions?
Half.
You can call them half open. Today I'm gonna call it
Quantitative.
Yeah, strange spelling of this word. Quantitative, what's a quantitative question, guys? Anyone give me an example of quantitative? You all know this. E1, come on.
How long? How many?
How long?
How many?
Yeah.
How often?
How often? Okay. These ones are very good. So you start with your open, then some quantitative, then some close. It's easier, right? Sometimes I call these half open. Is this a yes/no question? How long have you been?
No.
Medication?
like
It's not
open.
yes/no, is it? But it's not open though, because I cannot say anything I want. Right? So how long have you been taking the medication? What's the answer?
A short answer.
It's going to be a short answer and it's going to be number. Quantitative, right? Quantitative questions. Very useful as well, right? For getting information. So we're going to practice this week open, quantitative and closed, right? Not just open and closed. What is an open question? Give me examples. What can I say for open questions? What's the grammar?
Could you tell me more about
Could you?
How are you feeling?
Okay, what else? What else?
the moment
How are you feeling?
Describe your
How
pain.
are you
How
coping?
are you? Yeah, how are you?
Would you like?
Ooh, would you like sounds like permission or some sort of request or something. Would you like
Could
to?
you tell me?
Would you like to tell me more?
Describe your pain.
Could you tell me more? You can say, can you tell me more? What else can I do for an open question? Could you?
what's your main concern?
What is? Yeah, what is?
What is your
What is your main concern? Even why? Why do you
feel like that?
Why do you feel like that? Right?
What brought you to
And we could even say what brings you here today as well. Yeah, I like that. Okay, closed questions. What are closed questions? We can say, do you? Right? Do you?
Are
Do
you?
you have a
Are
headache?
you?
You?
How are you?
Have you?
Are you?
Have you? What else?
when did it start?
Can you?
When did it start? It's open. Well, when did it start? It's like a quantitative question, isn't it? When
Yeah.
did it start? It's quantitative, really.
Okay.
I'm going to put this here. When? Do you? Have you? Are you?
Can you?
Can you? Can you?
Did you?
Actually, not can you, right? Because
Can you maybe
the
open?
right? It depends on what you say. If I say, can you tell me more about that?
No, it should be would you like.
That's open. What about if I say this, though? Can you touch your head? That's a yes/no question, right? I'll put this here. So it can be both. But this is asking, like, do you have the ability to do this? Yes or no? Can you touch your head? Microphones off, please, guys. All right. So let's stay with these for now. There's more. Of course, there's more. We could also have is it, I suppose, right? But let's stay with these. Let's keep it simple. This week, I want us to practice moving from open to close like this. All right. I'll give you examples, but we're going to also, I want some people to do this in front of the class today. Okay. So let's have a scenario. All right. Let's just start with a scenario. Scenario. And we're going to have the same scenario again. Okay. The scenario is very simple. Headache. I have a headache. All right. And remember, there's different types of patients. There's shy patients or there's chatty patients. We have to be natural with how fast we move from open to closed, okay? So can I have someone who is not Bianca, because I know that she can do this already. Can I have someone to try? Okay, you have the language.
I can try.
I'll give you 3 questions. Could you tell me more about that, right? You have the language here. It's just a headache in a clinic. But guys, we're going to listen to Emily. She's going to speak now. When you listen, we're going to be very, very strict with Emily because the situation is easy now. She has the language. She has the scenario. I want you guys to think, is the grammar okay? Does she listen to the answers of my questions? Okay. Does she forget to give empathy? Does she move between open and close in a natural way? Okay. So Emily, are you ready? No pressure, Emily. So, sorry about this. I promise I'll be very nice. Okay. Emily, are you ready? Microphone on.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So we'll start from the beginning. Just introduce yourself. Let's say that you don't know me, Emily, and we're in a clinic. Okay. So you don't know me, unknown, and we're in a clinic. Okay. So just try to go through these. I'm going to be a little bit shy, but not very much. Okay. All right. So here we go. 3. Listen to this, guys, and let's see if she can do this. 3, 2, 1, go.
Good morning. My name is Dr. Busari. I'm one of the doctors in this clinic. And before going any further, may you just confirm your name, please?
Yes, it's Alan Wenham.
Okay, thank you for coming today. How are you in the moment, Alan?
To be honest, I'm not feeling very well. I've got a bit of a headache.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That's why I would like to begin by talking about your symptoms. And after that, we can discuss some treatment options. And could you tell me more about it?
Yeah, so it's like, it's quite intense, the pain. And it just started yesterday. And I'm really, I really need to get some medication, I think.
And what do you think? Why do you feel like that?
Well, I don't know, really. That's why I'm here.
How long have you been experiencing the pain?
Yeah, it's since yesterday.
When exactly?
Probably like midday. Yeah.
And did you take any medication?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, could you tell me more about it? Which kind of medication did you take?
Like paracetamol mainly. Yeah.
Was it effective?
It was, but I think I need something stronger because it's getting worse.
Okay. We'll try to manage something.
Okay, stop there. Emily, thank you so much for that because it was very good, but there were some of the errors that I was discussing, right? I think you said yourself, right? So very, very nice questioning. But guys, let's talk about the open questions. Were these good? The grammar was good.
Yeah.
Right? Grammar, very, very good. Did she ask enough open questions? What do you think?
Yeah.
Probably that was okay. All right.
Yes. And one thing, Alan.
Yeah, before we get to those errors, what about the grammar of quantitative? Was the grammar good? I didn't notice any errors with the grammar. Okay.
Yeah, grammar was good.
She did make an error though. What was the error when she moved? She didn't listen to the answer from the previous question, right? I already told her the answers for two of the questions she asked. Did anyone notice that?
Bad medication.
Yeah, I told her already.
Yeah.
What about the closed?
Yesterday.
Was there any closed question? What was the grammar like? Was it good? Because very often you hear bad grammar, but I thought grammar was very good, actually.
Yeah.
I heard no errors. Was it good, the closed questioning?
Yes.
Yeah. What about empathy, though? Did we hear enough empathy here?
Yes.
Yeah, she
Yes.
Yes.
A little bit.
sorry to hear
I
that.
feel like maybe a little bit more though, Emily. Not all the time. Don't be repetitive, but maybe one more time might have been good. And but do you see what I mean, guys? This is not easy to do. This is very difficult to move through it in a correct way. Also, before she asked this, what did she do before she asked this question?
She provides structure, and it
With
was
the
really
menu.
good.
That was a very good thing. What did she say, guys? She gave a menu. Okay, so today, did anyone
Today
notice?
first.
Further
Yeah,
to go before,
I'm
like,
going
I would like to talk.
About
about symptoms.
what were the two things that she wanted to talk about? Does anyone remember?
Symptoms and
treatment.
medication.
Symptoms and treatment.
So that was very good, Emily. But sorry, I'm being so critical here, but I think you're really good. Okay, just to take this to the next level. How did she get from the structure into the open question? Was it correct, really?
No, to be honest.
No, she
You
said.
at least you should
Can you tell
clarify.
Well, Dr. Sakis, she gave a plan. Did she ask
Yes,
me if it was okay?
Yes, that was the thing she need to address. Is that okay? She should confirm with you. You are willing to do this or no?
Emily, does that make sense? You went straight to the question and you didn't check with me. Maybe I don't want to talk about these things today, right? So how does that sound?
Yes.
Right. And then I say, that's great. And then you say, okay, great. So could you tell me more about blah, blah, blah? Okay. So that was a really good example. Can I have someone else? We'll have one more example. We had a doctor there.
Alan, can I say something?
Sorry, yes, please go on. Yes.
Yeah, I think it was good, everything, but just I want to ask you, is it okay that we tell the patient, okay, thanks for your coming? It's not like invitation or something.
Yeah, it's normally okay. I get lots of people ask me this. I think it sounds friendly. You're not saying, I'm glad you're sick again, Norzad. So don't worry about that. You can say,
Sorry for waiting.
What was the exact phrase she used? You can say thanks for coming in.
Yeah, she said thanks for coming, but is there any alternative to use instead of thanks for coming?
It's
because you don't invite them.
It's for coming in.
Okay.
And that just means what you're saying is like you made a journey and you spent money on petrol or on the transportation. Thank you for making the effort to come and see me. Right, so it's very polite. It's fine, but it has to be coming in today. I think that sounds
okay
more natural.
Yeah.
Go on. Yeah.
Alan. So what's about to say saying nice to meet you?
Yeah, it's the same thing. Right? That's what I thought Norzad was saying. Yeah, if you say nice to meet you, it's okay, but you don't have. If you don't want to say it, Samira, you don't have to. You're not saying, I'm glad you're sick. You're not, that doesn't mean that. You're just saying, oh, I recognize you and it's nice to see you again. It's just
it's better to avoid it, don't you say? Because
I just think it doesn't make any difference.
It doesn't make it, they will not, decrease mark for this one.
I don't think so, because it's not, I would like, if a doctor said that to me, that would be nice.
Yeah. Because just I know it's a habit to say nice to meet you, and when you are stressed, just this word comes out.
Not nice to meet you, but you could say nice to meet you as well.
Yeah,
it's just a very common phrase that we always use, so I think it's okay. It's a bit like when we say, there is no medication. I'm afraid. Does that mean I am actually afraid?
No.
We just say it. We always just say these phrases, not always with a full meaning. You know what I mean? Like, who is it? Was some of the students yesterday were saying that English people say, "How are you today?" but they don't want to know the answer. Who was saying that?
Yeah, Nana.
So they say, "How are you?" but they don't actually want you to tell them really how you are. So maybe it's a bit like that. You know what I mean? We just say it, but we don't really mean it, sadly. Okay, any more questions on this, actually? Does anyone want to ask me any questions? Let's have another person then. Nurses, come on. Let's have a nurse to do this. You have the language. Very simple. I have a headache. Not a difficult situation. You can do this. Come on.
Yes, I can.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, so it's really happy. So that's Yvonne, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, right, just introduce yourself. Okay. We are in a clinic, Yvonne.
Yep.
Introduce yourself. Say, how are you? And then this one, and this one. Okay. So let's try. 3, 2, 1. Start when you're ready, please.
Hi.
Hi there.
Yeah. Thank you for coming in today. Could you please tell me your name, please?
Yes, it's Alan Wenham.
Yeah. May I call you Alan?
That's fine, yes.
Yes, Mr. Alan. Thank you for coming here today. And could you please explain what's bringing you here today?
Yes, I've got this headache and it's on the right-hand side of my head. I've been taking some medication.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. And could you please explain more about your headache?
Yeah, the headache is like, it's like going down into my neck sometimes, and it's really affecting my sleeping and I can't concentrate at work.
Oh, sorry. And what do you think about the cause, the probable cause of your headache?
That's a good question. I think it might be I'm staring at, I work online, so maybe I'm looking at the computer screen too often.
Oh, I see. And I'd like to know that how long have you been suffering from this kind of headache?
It's been about a day and a half, I would say.
Oh, and that means you have been taken medication for a day and a half?
Yes.
Yes, okay. And did you work the medication?
Did it work? It kind of works, but not very well.
Not very well. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to stop you there. Thank you very much. This is the first class today. Thank you very much for Yvonne. Can I have a round of applause? In fact, that was really, really good. Put your microphones on, guys. That was great. Really, really good. Okay, so we've had another example. I'm going to mention a few things from this, and then we will finish, and we can come back tomorrow, and we will continue tomorrow. Okay, and I will review everything. Now there. What did you think, guys, about that? How many open questions did she ask there? Was it too many?
No, not too many.
At first, I thought it was too many, but then the last question was a really good question. What was the last open question? What do you think?
What do you think about headache?
I thought that's a great open question to ask for a headache, isn't it? Very, very useful. So I thought the open question was actually quite good there. There was a small language error though. Okay. What's wrong with this, guys? What's bring you here today? It's very, very small error. Very small.
Brought. What should be past tense? What brought you here?
Brought you, yeah.
Yes, isn't it? This S. You can have it in the present or you can have both, right? The problem is the third person singular. This S is on the wrong word. Where should it be?
What brings?
Yeah.
Brings.
Right. In general, I thought that was quite good. Maybe towards the end, we could have a few more closed. Sorry, yes, go on.
Yeah, just I said a bit repetition about thanks you for coming, and it's like 2 times or 3 times. 2 times, I think.
Possibly a bit of repetition. Also, just to give you more feedback here, just before we finish, guys, empathy was good, but what phrases was she saying? She wasn't saying the usual phrase.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. So maybe, Yvonne, maybe a little bit more like, I'm sorry to hear that. That must be difficult for you. I can understand. Because you were just saying, oh. Oh, which actually sounds very friendly, but maybe a little bit more. So, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Okay. Anyway, guys, I'm going to have to say goodbye. Paul's class is about to start. See you tomorrow, same time, guys. Take care.
See you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thanks, guys.
See you. Bye bye.
See you tomorrow. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye.